Picture this. You wake up, your stomach is empty, and you reach for the same morning drink you've had for years. It feels harmless, even comforting. But about 15 minutes later, you feel that warm burn in your chest, or you feel shaky and lightheaded, or your blood pressure just feels off for the rest of the day. And you're left thinking, why is this happening to me now? In my work with older adults, I see a simple pattern. The drink itself isn't always the problem. The timing is. Because after 60, when certain beverages hit an empty stomach, they can irritate your stomach lining, trigger reflux, spike stress hormones, or hit your system too fast. And that can set the tone for your whole morning. Hi, I'm Daniel Brooks, RDN, your Senior Nutrition Specialist here on Senior Food 365. Today I'm walking you through 5 beverages seniors should never drink on an empty stomach, and what to do instead, so you start your day with steadier energy, calmer digestion, and fewer of those scary, why do I feel weird moments. And stay to the end, because number 1 is the one I worry about most for blood sugar and balance, especially in the morning. Quick question before we start. What do you usually drink first in the morning before you eat anything? Coffee, tea, juice, lemon water, or something else? Tell me in the comments. I read them, and it helps me cover real senior routines. All right, let's do this as a countdown, from 5 down to 1, 2, 5, strong black coffee. First thing, if coffee is your comfort, I get it. The smell, the warmth, the little boost that helps you feel human again. But when it's strong and black, and it hits an empty stomach, it can be like tossing fuel on a small fire. Here's why it matters. Your stomach makes acid to break down food. Coffee can stimulate more acid, and it can also relax the valve between your stomach and your throat. In simple words, that can make acid more likely to creep upward and cause heartburn or reflux, especially if you already deal with it. The common senior mistake is this. You wake up a little dehydrated, you take medications with a sip of water, then you pour a big mug of strong coffee and drink it quickly, before any food has a chance to buffer your stomach. Let me tell you a quick story. Mary, a retired teacher, told me her mornings were fine until she hit her late 60s. She started having that sour taste and throat clearing by mid-morning. She thought it was just aging. It wasn't. Her biggest trigger was strong coffee on an empty stomach. When she changed the timing, her symptoms calmed down more than she expected. Here's a simple protocol that works for many seniors. First, drink a full glass of plain water when you wake up. Give it a few minutes. Second, put a small buffer in your stomach before coffee. Something simple like a few bites of yogurt, a small piece of toast, a banana, or a handful of nuts if you tolerate them. Third, if reflux is a problem for you, try one change at a time. A smaller cup, a milder brew, or coffee with a splash of milk. Some people also do better with decaf. Secret tip. If coffee is non-negotiable, slow it down. Sip it over time, not fast. The speed matters. And in a moment, we'll talk about a healthy drink many seniors take like medicine in the morning, but it can quietly damage an irritated throat or stomach. Or apple cider vinegar shots. This one is very popular. A lot of seniors are told, take a vinegar shot in the morning, it'll fix everything. And I want to be calm but clear here. Vinegar is acid. Strong acid on an empty stomach can be rough, especially after 60. Why it matters. The lining of your throat and stomach is a protective surface. When you repeatedly expose it to very acidic liquids, it can get irritated. That can mean burning, nausea, reflux, or a sore throat that mysteriously keeps coming back. Now, I'm not saying a tiny amount of vinegar is automatically dangerous for everyone. I'm saying the shots trend is where seniors get into trouble. The common mistake is undiluted vinegar, taken fast on an empty stomach day after day. And sometimes people chase it with coffee, which stacks irritation on top of irritation. Here's the practical protocol if you insist on using it. Never take it as a shot. Always dilute it heavily in water. Have it with food, not before food. And if you have reflux, a sensitive stomach, a history of ulcers, trouble swallowing or burning in your throat, this is a strong sign to skip it and talk to your doctor. Secret tip: if you're using vinegar because you want a morning ritual, replace the ritual, not just the drink. Warm water, a gentle herbal tea, or even a simple breakfast routine can give you the same feeling of, I'm doing something healthy, without the acid hit. Now, number 3 is a drink that feels nutritious, even heart healthy, but can be a big problem if you take certain medications. Free grapefruit juice and strong citrus juices. Orange juice, grapefruit juice, lemon-heavy drinks. They sound clean and healthy. But on an empty stomach, they can be a double whammy for seniors: acid irritation and medication interactions. First, the simple digestion part. Citrus is acidic. For many people, especially older adults with reflux, it can trigger that burning feeling when there's no food buffer. Second, and more important, grapefruit juice can interact with many medications by changing how your body processes them. That can make some medications stronger than intended and increase side effects like dizziness or weakness. Here's a quick story. Mr. Johnson started drinking grapefruit juice every morning because he heard it was good for the heart. A few weeks later, he felt unusually weak and dizzy, especially after taking his meds. His doctor asked a simple question: "Any grapefruit?" That was the missing puzzle piece. The common mistake is thinking fruit juice is always gentle. For seniors, it's not always gentle, especially grapefruit. Practical protocol: if you love citrus, have it with breakfast, not before breakfast. Choose whole fruit more often than juice because it's slower and gentler for many people. If reflux is an issue, try lower acid fruits and see what your body tolerates. And if you take prescriptions, ask your pharmacist or doctor one simple question: is grapefruit safe with my medications? Secret tip: if you take morning medications, use plain water unless your doctor told you otherwise. Don't wash down pills with juice unless you know it's safe. Now we're down to the final 2, and this is where I want you to be extra careful, because these drinks can hit your nervous system fast, especially on an empty stomach. 2. Energy drinks and caffeine shots. Some seniors don't touch these, but many do, especially if they're still working, driving early, or feeling tired and trying to push through. Here's why it matters. Energy drinks often contain a lot of caffeine plus other stimulants. On an empty stomach, that stimulant hit can feel stronger and faster. You might get palpitations, shaky hands, anxiety, sweating, nausea, or that wired but weak feeling. And if you already have high blood pressure, a heart rhythm issue, or you take medications that affect your heart rate, this becomes even more important. The common mistake is using an energy drink as breakfast, or using one right after taking morning medications, or combining it with coffee for extra power. Practical protocol: if you need a boost, start with water and food first. If you want caffeine, choose a smaller, simpler source like mild coffee or tea after you've eaten. And if you've ever had chest fluttering, racing heart, or blood pressure spikes, talk to your doctor before using energy drinks at all. Secret tip: many seniors think they need more caffeine, when they actually need more morning hydration and a little protein. Even a small breakfast with protein can make your energy steadier than any can or shot. Now let's get to the one I worry about most, because it can turn a calm morning into a dizzy, dangerous situation, especially for balance and blood sugar. 1. Alcohol before food. I'm not here to judge alcohol. Some seniors enjoy a drink. Some have a social routine. But alcohol on an empty stomach is where trouble happens faster. Why it matters. With no food in your stomach, alcohol absorbs more quickly. That means a stronger effect, sooner. For older adults, that can mean faster dizziness, more unsteady walking, and a higher risk of falls. It can also drop blood sugar, especially if you have diabetes or you take medications that affect blood sugar. And alcohol can interact with many prescriptions in ways that increase sleepiness, raise fall risk, or irritate the stomach. The common mistake is a morning mimosa, a drink before brunch, or a drink used to calm nerves, before any food. Some seniors also drink at night on an empty stomach and then wake up feeling shaky or off in the morning, and they don't connect the dots. Here's a quick story. Linda told me she had a little drink before a late breakfast on a weekend. She stood up, felt lightheaded, and grabbed the counter to steady herself. She didn't fall, but it scared her. When we looked at her routine, the big problem wasn't the amount. It was the empty stomach. Practical protocol. If you drink, drink with food. Go slow and keep it smaller than you think you need. Drink water alongside it. If you've ever had a fall, fainting spells, low blood sugar episodes, or you take medications that make you drowsy, this is a very important topic to discuss with your doctor. Secret tip. If alcohol is part of your social routine, build a food-first rule. A simple snack before a drink can reduce that fast hit and may lower the chance of dizziness. Now let's quickly bring this all together in a way you can actually use tomorrow morning. Most seniors don't need a perfect diet. You need safe timing and smart starts. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Empty stomach plus strong irritants or stimulants is what causes many of those scary morning symptoms. This week, try these simple actions. Start your day with water. Put a small bite of food in your stomach before coffee, juice, or anything acidic. And if you take prescriptions, be extra careful with grapefruit, energy drinks, and alcohol, because side effects and interactions are more common than people realize. Even in your 70s or 80s, small daily steps like these can make your mornings feel steadier. Less heartburn, fewer jitters, fewer dizzy spells, and more confidence when you stand up and start moving. Now I want to hear from you. Which one of these surprised you most? And what do you usually drink first before breakfast? This video is for education only and is not personal medical advice. Always talk to your own doctor about your situation.